evening, YouTube family. Welcome to another Two Family Homestead live stream. Woo!
Good evening. See? I did it before you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
How about that?
How about that?
You're right on the ball tonight.
Well, I'm on something. I hope everyone had a wonderful Halloween. We need to do squat. Halloween was Saturday? Yeah, trick or treat was Saturday here. From 2 to 4. We need to do squat.
I put the heads away in the trailer. In the camper.
Well, they were in the back room.
Yeah, but I had to go in there and do some winterizing.
Oh, that's right.
So
well, you should have brought them out. We could have worn them
I should have brought them up, and I didn't do that.
Because I don't think any of these folks have seen them.
Have seen our heads?
Have seen our heads. That doesn't sound so good. Who's on crack? Troll boy. This is where the party is. Yep. We dragged somebody in from Texas tonight. Yep. Oh, well, thank you. The slow cooker lasagna was very good. Meatloaf sounds good, too. Today I have, what do I have in slow cooker? I had a roast and potatoes and green beans and mushrooms. And in the other crock pot, I have applesauce going.
Yep.
Well, at this point, it's apple butter, but yes.
Started out saucy, but it's getting a little
That's right.
pasty.
Yes, Nathan, you have seen them. You're right. Yeah, two-headed, two-family. Yeah, that's could make a comment for that, but I'm not going to. Anyway, we're going to Texas tonight. We're going to Mama Z's country, state, listen to me. And
Country?
Yeah, well, they say it's the country. If you talk to Misty, she'll tell you Texas is its own country.
Texas is its own country.
That's what she says.
You know, I know that they make trucks down there that are just, they're special labeled for Texas.
Okay.
And I don't understand that.
Well, Texas is a big state.
What the sizes and everything, is it?
I won't say anything to that. I'll keep this family friendly. So anyway, we have Misty from Mama Z is in Texas, Built on a Rock Homestead. Carrie is from Texas. Oh, I see. Texas used to be a county that Tennessee founded. Uh-huh. Hey, Ethan, how are you? So anyway, yes, and Naked Gardeners are in Texas also. That's right. So anyway, Republic of Texas. So anyway, we have Crystal. Crystal's Texas Garden. She has an awesome channel. You need to go check it out. I know that some of our mods have already posted the link. And see, Dee says, yeah, size is important. That's my bud. You met Dee at the birthday party, Robin's birthday party. Dee from Louisiana, little tiny Dee.
Yeah. When one is that small, size is important.
She can kick you in the ankles. Just keep it up, kid. So let's bring Crystal out so we can chat with her.
All righty. Crystal, you ready?
Yep.
Here she is.
Folks, make sure you put your
Hi, everybody.
Make sure you put your questions in all caps.
Well, I have a question. I know you're in Texas, but are you in an area that's pretty much always affected by the hurricanes and stuff that have just been going through down there?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We are in between Houston and Beaumont. So the hurricanes that actually affected Louisiana we got wind from both of those. The last one, we had some pretty high winds. The first one wasn't so bad, but yeah, we do get affected by hurricanes here.
So did it do any damage to your property there?
Not really, other than knocking down some trellises in the garden that were getting ready to come out anyway for the fall, the winter. But other than that, a few limbs down, but nothing major. We just had a pole barn put in before the last hurricane, and we were watching it sway back and forth like that. So that was pretty scary.
How big a pole barn?
Big enough to put a big pole in.
Like
Just roughly.
60, yeah, I think it's like 60 by 40.
To put
It's just a small one.
put a pole in. Put a pole in it.
Put a pole in it. Yeah.
Put a pole in it.
Well, 60 by 40. Yeah, that's pretty good size. And it was swaying, you say?
It was swaying. We were watching it sway. I didn't video it, but my husband has his Jeep parked underneath it, and he says, "Hey, do we still have full coverage on the Jeep?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay."
Was this something you guys built yourselves, or did you have it installed?
No, we hired a contractor, and some of the materials actually came off the property from the oil wells that are around here. So that's where that came. It's concreted in. You know, we didn't think, but the winds came up through pretty good through here.
So do you have oil wells?
So we have oil wells on the property, but we don't own any mineral rights. Those mineral rights were sold back in the 1920s. So when we bought the property, we just bought basically surface rights.
Ah. So if it spills on the ground, it's yours.
Correct. And they have to have like our permission to come in and service the wells. And if they don't take care of the roads, then we can definitely kick them off the property, things like that. So we have all the surface rights.
But you don't get any of the dollars for all the money they pump out of the ground.
No. And here, this last year has been a couple of the wells are down. They're not even running because the oil prices have dropped so low. Mm-hmm. And when they actually come back up per barrel, then they'll start pumping again. But it's not worth the money right now. So it's just sitting. They're just sitting right now.
Well, you know, on the other side of that coin, I enjoy those low prices at the gas station.
So do I.
So
definitely. And they still have to maintain the roads and everything coming in, so it's a win-win for us.
Question for you here, Crystal. What do you use your pole barn for?
So it's going to be my husband's new wood shop. The other one, he's kind of outgrowing it, and so eventually he'll be completely moved into that. So we're basically doing it on a budget. We're doing it little pieces at a time, so it doesn't affect the bank as much.
So when you say wood shop, is this like cabinet making, or is this furniture making, or is this just trinkets?
Oh no, my husband is a full carpenter. He makes furniture grade interior doors. So the company that we own is Hydador. I'm gonna put a shameless plug out there.
Absolutely,
go for it.
We build secret doors that look like bookcases and dry bars, but they're actually interior doors.
Oh, cool!
So they're like they're like hidden into the wall. So you can actually maybe open up another room that maybe has your secret stash in, whether that be liquor or guns or whatever.
Yes.
So now do y'all have a website of that? I mean, I've missed. This is all new to me.
Yeah, it's hydador.com.
Hydador.com. And I'm sure we can get a couple of our mods to be looking that up and getting it in there.
If our mods can go out and grab that and post it for her, sure, why not?
Yeah,
and we're all for advertising, sure.
And anybody that's in the stream tonight gets like they get a discount where they have to pay 5% more.
Yes, exactly. Give you the cousin discount.
That's right. There we go. Yeah, secret room, Terry. That's right.
Well, that is interesting. Now, is this? Did you just dream this up? I mean, I would think every one would have to be custom for an application. It's not something like you could sell at Lowe's.
Oh no, Lowe's and Home Depot both approached us years ago, but we had to turn them down because of they have to be built custom. We have to build them for every customer's taste and size, and we're not cookie cutter at all. So so we work with each individual customer or designer or builder to get what that customer wants.
Well, this is pretty fascinating, really.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'm going. Let's get back to that. But there's a question here that I don't want to scroll by. Petway Family Farm, no mineral rights to the oil, but do you get free natural gas off the well?
No, no, we don't have those rights at all either.
Okay. So that's the way they do it in Texas, folks.
Yeah, these all the oil stuff. Very rarely here in Texas will you ever find a property that you're going to buy both the surface and the mineral rights to. And there's actually a neighborhood not too far from here where you don't even own the water rights in that area, so you can't even drill your own well. Which that's kind of unheard of. That's like the first one I've heard of. But yeah, when we bought the property, because it has the oil wells on it, they discounted the property, because we wouldn't get any of the mineral rights. But now we have a big toll road coming through that has made our property value go way up.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty nice, except for the traffic.
Oh, it's 3 miles away, so
Oh.
we won't even hear any noise back here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That's pretty neat.
City Girl Country Heart is asking, can you build a door and have it shipped to the customer?
Oh, absolutely. We do that. We ship all over the world. Let's see. We've got doors in the UK,
Wow.
Bermuda, Japan, where else? Australia, and a lot in Canada, as well as the continental U.S.
Oh, that is so cool.
Well, if you've got those in Japan, I mean, the Japanese, at least what's in my eyes, from what my understanding is, Japanese are known for pretty fancy woodwork.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
that- and they're known for the sliding doors
Japanese
also.
people that we've sold to, they're really into American culture and owning things from America.
I see.
And they, drive cars from America, so really cool.
Exactly.
Okay, status symbol.
Yes.
Yeah, like big status symbol.
Okay, and full circle farm. That's a tongue twister. What kind of gardening do you do?
So I have it's a root stout. I practice the root stout method, which is where I layer the hay on. It's kind of like Back to Eden, where Back to Eden uses wood chips. I use hay. We're surrounded by hay fields and hay farms, so hay for me is super, super cheap. So I keep the hay on thick and keep everything mulched in, and I don't have to water as frequently. My plants survive our very tough summers here. It's super, super hot here. So there's a lot. That's the kind of gardening that I specialize in, and I don't have to till. I don't like tilling.
How much property do you have?
So we have 36 acres total, and we actually live. It's fenced off. We have 2 acres that's our yard, but the property is 36 acres, a subdivision.
Okay, and then the garden is how big?
It's 90 by 80.
That's-
We do it big here in
I was
Texas.
going to say
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
pretty good size.
Tori, Mrs. Naked Gardener, is asking, you still plan to sell your property?
Yes. With the toll road coming in, and it's raised up the value so much, and there's so much property that it's just going to be hard for 2 people to maintain and take care of. We've already got 1 kid out the house, and we have another one. He graduates in May, so we'll be empty nesters here pretty soon.
Okay, so you've raised 2 kids.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any livestock?
I have chickens and ducks. We have 5 chickens left because about 3 Sundays ago, our neighbor's dog came in and killed out like 17 birds.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I listened to that video. It's like, God, I was heartbroken. I can't imagine what you were feeling. Aside
It was
for
tough.
killing the dogs, Jeez.
Right. Luckily, my neighbor did. The dogs have been pinned up ever since, and they did pay for the laying hens. I didn't charge them for roosters or any older hens, just the young laying hens. And because I was trying to be fair, because there were so many birds involved.
Oh yeah,
And I
and at $500
I also
a
have
bird.
3 horses.
Oh,
yeah.
3 horses.
Yes.
Now these are pleasure horses. Are these like race horses or what?
They're field ornaments.
Field ornaments. Oh, look, horses.
Let's see. We got this Tennessee walking horse or whatever holding up the mailbox over here.
Exactly.
I think that's
all of my horses. I have not paid. I have not bought any horses. All 3 of them wandered onto the property, and
wow.
I couldn't find homes for them. Couldn't find the original owners. They were all very skinny. You can count their rib cage and their skeleton or their
my.
spine. And I got them back up to health, and we just let them live here.
I think that's what your sister's horses are, just lawn ornaments at this point.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they're
I
definitely not
agree.
racing horses anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time my sister had a whole stable of horses. She had like 20 horses. They were all standardbreds,
Oh wow.
but they were all, the next one is going to be the one, and none of them made any money.
Oh,
So yeah,
it does.
yeah, lawn ornaments. Of course, if you turn them into a mailbox post, which end do you point toward the street?
Good Lord. Yeah, Terry, they rescued her. I think that's what it was probably.
So,
Yeah,
what's your
it sounds
favorite thing to
cool.
grow in your garden out there?
Let's see. Probably this year, my favorite thing has been loofahs. Every year I have something different, but the loofahs this year really took off, and I actually learned how to eat them. They're edible, and when they're young, they're really quite yummy. They're so prolific
Yeah, I've heard
that the more you cut, the more they grow. So that was the funnest to grow this summer. Now I still have sweet potatoes in the garden that I haven't harvested yet, so we'll see if that ends up taking over from the loofahs.
So, I don't know why, but I was, it could be totally, I don't know. Obviously, I'm just out to lunch on this, but isn't a loofah that thing that you have in the bathtub in there?
Yeah, that's a loofah.
Well, why would you want to even try to eat something like that?
You wouldn't know half you wouldn't know half the stuff that I feed you, Daryl.
When they're young, they're not fibrous like that. They're like a squash, like a zucchini. They're very tender when they're young.
Okay, all right.
And if you let them get too big, you can scrub your body or dishes with them. So it's a multi-purpose plant.
Didn't you see the ones that Robin had? She put out like 3 seeds, and she has vines galore.
Well, yeah, and of course, Dana told us. Yeah,
I got mine from Dana.
yeah.
She gave me 2, and I must have 10 million seeds.
You have enough
Oh, yeah.
seeds that we don't.
But I don't think I can grow them here because we don't have a long enough growing season. I would have to start them inside, or if I had a greenhouse, which we're not allowed to have. There you go.
Wait a minute. What's Gardner saying here? Bill said, as long as it makes a turd, he does not care.
Good old Sydney.
All right. So anyway, very, very interesting.
Oh God, Dee, that's awful.
Do you have a greenhouse or what
Yeah.
do you extend your growing? Well, how cold does it get where you're at? Maybe it doesn't get cold enough to even think about winter.
If normally we might have a couple of days that are into the 30s. In 2018, we actually dipped into the teens for about 4 days, and that was weird. We don't do that.
Oh,
that
it's so
this far
terrible,
down
isn't it?
south.
It's so terrible.
But yeah, I can pretty much grow all year long.
We go for months without getting out of the teens.
Oh yeah, we had snow yesterday. It's like
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was ready to put on my fingerless gloves today. My hands were so cold.
Oh, wow. I was wearing shorts today.
Yes, I've heard a few people tell me that, and I go, I really don't. Well, a friend of ours, country girl, and she's from Texas, Dawn. She lives in Tennessee now. She did a quick live stream this afternoon, and I go, you're sitting there in short sleeves, and I have jeans and a long sleeve shirt on, socks, and I want to put my fingerless gloves on. Yeah, I'm ready to move south.
You'd like it down here.
I don't know if I could survive in the summer. That's what.
Well, we have Jason trying to talk us into moving to Georgia, and then Mama Z and a few others are trying to talk us into moving to Texas. We have Brett and Jareth trying to talk us to moving into Louisiana.
Now, we are from Brett. We're about 3 hours from Brett.
Oh,
and from
okay.
Mama Z's, I'm only an hour from her.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. But we have really high humidity down here this far south. So to get away from the humidity, you want to go central Texas or into the Dallas, the North Texas. Now, if you get into the Panhandle, they've already got snow.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we have quite the diverse weather in Texas.
Now, is that because of an altitude type thing? I mean, is it mountains or hills or?
Oh yeah, yeah. Texas, we can drive 8 hours and we're still in Texas.
Yeah, that's just silly. But okay, well, I'll tell you what I've done here while everybody's been talking. We got the phone lines opened up. If anybody would like to call in and say hello, ask some questions about whatever, feel free to do so. The numbers are scrolling across the screen. Make sure that you have your volume on your computer or phone or whatever you're watching the program with. Make sure you have that volume turned down. That eliminates any feedback. You'll be put into a room, and then I can acknowledge you, and you can tell everybody who you are and say hi to everybody. So you don't have to be bashful. So, did I ask her what her favorite thing was to grow?
Yes.
Loofah. Remember, that's how we got into that.
Yeah, that's how. Then we're eating sponges. So.
Yeah.
Yes, and you just turned somebody off on growing it as soon as they heard about eating it and you talking about it, they don't want to grow it now.
But the whole plant is edible. The greens, everything, every part of the loofah is edible. All of the plant.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I know that it grows a lot. There's a lot of it. You get a lot for your money with those.
Oh yeah, it's very prolific, very prolific. But my sweet potatoes have been prolific too. I think I have 18 starts out there, and right now they're taking up an 80-foot row, and they're about 12 foot across wide. So I'm really excited to see what we have under the ground.
That's pretty amazing. Did you amend your ground very much, or this is just from this layering hay on top of it? And
lots of chicken poo, lots of horse poo, and lots of hay.
Okay.
So we have gumbo clay here, and it's just been about 5 years of constant amending. Now I have really nice soil when I started with nothing but dirt. And you can dig in, and it's quite nice.
I see somebody, Mrs. Naked Gardener apparently sniffs the loofah plant.
To each their own. Well, look who she lives with. Sydney, the Naked Gardener, is asking what made you change your channel name.
That is a long story. So originally, I started out as a homesteading channel where I did, cooking and everything in between. And just over the years, I just kind of honed in on the gardening because that seemed to be what everybody was mostly interested in. And so now I do mostly gardening, but I do have another channel that I have not really done anything with, but that's going to be dedicated to cooking and things like that. This last year has been so insanely crazy with getting one kid out the house and one kid, getting ready to graduate. So I haven't had a chance to pour into the other channel. But it's kind of a long story. But yeah, I just wanted to hone in on the gardening.
Let's see. What variety of sweet potatoes are you growing?
So I went to a store here in Texas we have called HEB, and they had these little purple sweet potatoes off to the side, and they were like $2 a pound. And so I bought those and I started slip. So they're purple sweet potatoes. I have no idea what variety. I have some on the counter. Let me see if I can holler at my son to go grab one. Logan. Hey, go grab me a sweet potato and bring it here, please.
I'm afraid to ask how big these things grow.
Well, I think it might have been Tori. I saw it on Facebook the other day. Tori, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought she posted a picture of a sweet potato that they dug, and it looked like a knee. I mean, that's just. Pretty sure it was Tori that posted that. Maybe not.
Like the size of a football.
Thank you.
Look at this thing.
Here's one.
And
this is one of the smaller ones.
And that's for a family.
Oh yeah, that was my son, my little fella. He's only 6'4", 285 pounds. Just my little guy. We grown big in Texas.
I guess you do.
So yeah, this is a small one. My mom dug it up the other day, and she actually got some bigger ones, but this is the one he grabbed for me. And this is just it's purple all the way through. It's really cool.
Good, and
it's sweet.
Purple.
So
I love sweet potatoes.
So everybody gets a potato like that for supper.
Yeah. Well, he can eat too.
Good heavens.
That would be my dinner. I mean, I'd be happy just to have a sweet potato. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now I like sweet potatoes savory. I'm not a fan of putting like the sugar and everything. I like just having like rosemary and garlic cooked with this. It's really, really good.
I never even thought about that. I've always, put butter on them. And sometimes people put cinnamon or whatever. I just lather mine with butter. I never thought about savory.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, we have a steakhouse here, Texas Roadhouse, every time I order a baked potato, I get them to give me a sweet potato. And they treat it just like a regular baked potato with the chives and the cheese and the sour cream and all that good stuff. And I like it that way.
Yeah, Terry, I would eat it all by myself also. Yep. Mm-hmm. That would be me. And Tori's asking, what is your method of hardening them off?
So I just basically leave them on the kitchen floor. I don't really harden them off. I let them sit for a couple of days, and then we dive into them. This variety is sweeter and more buttery than the normal orange variety. That's what I found from this. So I'll immediately, once I start pulling them, I'll start canning them and start dehydrating them and storing them that way because it's really humid here, rather than storing them in we don't have a root cellar, so that's how I would store them.
Wow.
So I don't really harden them off. Here, if we leave them for 7 to 10 days, that's enough hardening, but you have to bring them inside. They can't be outside in the heat and in the moisture. But Tori, they have less humidity than we do down here.
Mm-hmm. So those are purple. I'm going to have to see about getting purple ones.
Well, I thought we had grown purple ones that one year.
I don't remember.
I think so.
Could have been. They didn't turn out though.
Well, certainly not that size. Good heavens. I mean, we were growing. Yeah, I was growing 3 plants in a bottom half of a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah.
And that's big enough that
would take one.
one plant would fill the whole drum.
Do you cook the sweet potato leaves?
Oh yes, yes. They're very, very yummy, very, very nutritious. I cook them exactly like you would spinach. So the texture is kind of in between spinach and kale. So you have to cook them a little bit longer than you would normally spinach.
Okay.
But yeah, they're really good.
And Dee from Naturally NC is asking, do you blanch sweet potatoes before dehydrating?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Which same thing I do with potatoes. So yeah.
So are the leaves green or are they purple?
They're purple when they're young, and then as they mature, they turn into green. And the purple sweet potatoes have purple flowers, purple blooms.
Oh, well, then I have to get that I have
So-
to get that vegetable.
So instead of eating greens, you're eating purples.
Yes, no greens, purples.
And I can make a comment, but I won't. I mean, purple's my favorite color, so I'm going to have to get some of them. That's all there is to it. What's I going to ask? I forget. Talking about your cooking, you do not just American food, because I have watched you all along, and you and Linda. Is it Linda?
Mm-hmm.
It is Linda. You both have Polynesian on one side of your family?
No,
No,
our
it's not-
moms are both Thai. from
Thai.
Thailand.
It's not that, and that's what I
Thailand,
told
okay.
Daryl earlier. I says no, they're not Polynesian. It's Thailand. That's what I said earlier. So I don't know why I said that.
Well, speaking of other countries, we have another
it's
country.
Darren, isn't it?
Yes, it is. we have a caller from Australia joining the show here. We'll be here in just there we go. Let him get his mic straightened up. Darren, how you doing?
G'day, I'm good. Doing good, thanks.
So, all the way from Australia tonight, we've got Crystal out in Texas. I think Texas is about as big as Australia, isn't it?
It's probably close to it.
No, Australia is almost as big as United States.
Yes,
Well,
it is.
if you talk to these Texans, they think
They
that.
think that.
Yeah. Texans tend to get a little overinflated.
Yes, we do. Best country in the world.
There we go.
So go ahead, Darren.
All right, one question that I was thinking about. If you own everything above the ground and they own everything below the ground, when you plant potatoes, do they get to harvest the tubers?
I knew he was going to call in because I didn't say that because he asked it on here.
No, because technically it's still, since I'm planting in a layer of hay, I plant my tubers just right at the ground level, and then my hay covers it up. So technically it's still surface. Technically.
So it's a technicality.
Yes.
Let's see.
Now I have the oil field guy that checks all of the wells out here. He always watches my garden. He's like, oh, you've got zucchinis already. I see that. Oh, you've got green beans already. So he always gets goodies out of the garden.
No doubt. Sydney's asking if you and your mom can show Tori and him how to make kimchi.
No.
There you go, Sydney. Nope.
We're not Korean. I can show you how to make our version, which is actually I know how to make kimchi, but kimchi is Korean, and we make sompak, which is basically the same thing, except we don't make it spicy because the rest of our food is spicy.
Oh yeah, I watched some of the food that Linda posts, and I'm going, I'm not. No, I don't do heat. I'm a wuss.
This is food that has to
Thai
be
food, yeah.
has to be served in white dishes because it eats the color off.
Good.
It definitely could. My mom years ago owned a restaurant, and her menu had a chili scale. 1 was mild, and then you got to the 10th chili, and that was super, super spicy. So we can, the food can go. You can make it super, super spicy, or you can make it nice and mild. So.
So, any desires to open up a restaurant in the future here?
Oh no. No. I like cooking. I like showing people how to do it, but I don't have the desire to work, 16-hour days in a restaurant.
Okay, we have another caller, so let me get them in the room here. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Sawadee-Kop!
Sawati?
That's all I know. Oh, I mean, that's a lot. I know little, which is nitnoy, and then thank you, which is kop kun kop. But that's about as far as I go.
So my mom, and I was actually born over there. We're from Udon, and Udon is Thai Isan. So our dialect is a little bit different. So where Thai, they say, a woman would say Sawati ka. In our dialect, we would say Sabaidi ba, which is the same thing.
And now that you're in Texas, you got a southern accent on top of that. And
Yeah.
good Lord.
And now she says, Sawadee. That was the cocking of a gun for Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Tough crowd.
Yeah, that joke went over like a lead balloon, mate.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Krista, what animals would you like to have?
So eventually, I would love to get some dairy goats, and that hopefully we're not doing anything until after we sell this property and buy a smaller property. And by smaller, I mean 5 to 10 acres. Texas small, and so I would love to get some dairy goats. We've got chickens and ducks now, maybe even some sheep. But yeah, we've got the old mare horses, and they're not much fun. But I think goats would be a lot of fun.
So
You're gonna be busy.
Oh yeah.
So
I won't have any more kids at home.
So where you're at out there, is it? You've indicated it gets very hot, but is it like desert-like area at all, or is it just hot and humid? So you like a beach almost, or?
Oh, it's hot. It's hot and humid.
Yeah,
We get a
she's not allowed
lot
to
of
be in that
rain
room.
here. We have annual rainfall like they do in Portland, Oregon. We've got a lot of rain, and that's where the humidity comes from. And I'm actually only about 45 minutes from the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
Mama Z is asking, where are you looking at to buy property?
Probably up in the hill country. I love that area up there. Years ago,
Of course,
when my
that's still
son
Texas.
first started...
That's still Texas, though, right?
Yes, that's Central Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We won't be leaving Texas.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hill country.
Yeah, up in the hill country, the New Braunfels area. The Texas people will know that's a gorgeous area. When we were looking initially in that area, my son said, "Can you wait till after I graduate? Because their high school mascot is the unicorn." He's like, I can't be a unicorn.
That's too funny.
Oh, there's so many jokes there for Sydney that I'm just going to let go right on by.
And he's in here.
That's your freebie, Sydney. That's your freebie.
I see Misty saying that she loves the hill country, she says, so.
It's beautiful. Beautiful area. They have big peach farms and lots of wineries there, and they have an old German town. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous area. Beautiful area.
Well, your husband's business or your guys' business has absolutely fascinated me here. So is this going to be, I mean, obviously, if you're going to move, you're going to carry this business with you, which I'm sure you can do. But you've just invested in a big building for where you're at. So if you're looking at a place like that, are you going to try try to get the same amount of property that you have now? Or are you going to downsize on the property since you're losing a couple of the kids? And
Yeah, we want to downsize. When we initially bought this property, we only went to buy 5 acres, and somehow he talked me into 10 acres. And by the time we signed the papers, when I looked down, it was 36.25 acres. At that point, I was just like, are we insane? Yes, we were insane. We've upgraded our tractor 3 times. So we want to go back down to that 5. He wants 10 acres so he can shoot on his own property.
so is your property just, is it kind of barren, or is there woods involved? Is there, do they have
another
woods in
business on our
Texas?
property.
I'm sorry, what's that?
We have another business on our property.
Okay, are we allowed to talk about it?
Yes, it's so Texas. It's so Texas. We own a gun range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we own
That's
a gun
not
range. It's
Texas,
located
that's
on the other side
American.
of the property. Which is a mile away, by the way. So we work. We have the 2 businesses. He's got the shop up here. We're in my office right now, and then we've got the gun range on the other side of the property. So we use on a daily basis. Our everyday commute is with 4-wheelers.
Wow. Such a hard life.
I know.
So
Well, it's certainly not Australian, that's for sure. Owning a gun range.
Yeah, that's because you guys have to hold up a butter knife and be like, stop. Don't touch me there.
No, that would be intent, mate, if you're holding up a butter knife.
So you just have to sing, don't touch me there.
Yeah.
That's not no square.
We've
It's a
actually
bad
had
place.
shooters from Australia and the UK, because they can't own guns in either places. They've actually come here and used our range and got some experience in shooting guns, and so we've had people from all over the place come here.
Now, when I went to North Carolina, they told me I wasn't allowed to shoot one of their guns because they couldn't supply a gun to a foreigner.
well, Texas is its own country, so
Well, that's because you talk funny.
I don't talk funny.
Yeah, you do. You go around keep calling everybody mate.
We've
Nothing wrong with
never
calling
had a
everyone
problem
mate.
with that. Nobody's ever said anything, and I think the last guy from Australia actually came in with the police department.
Yeah, well, I had my security license at the time and they still weren't interested.
Different states.
yeah, I'm sure that's what it was, just different states.
Yeah. Also an anal store clerk.
Very, very interesting. So
I'm gonna let that one go too.
of the 2
That's so
businesses,
hard.
As he snickers,
Oh.
yeah, he's going to let that one go.
of the 2 businesses, which one do you like the best?
They both have their perks. The perk of the gun range business is I get paid to play with other people's guns, so that's always fun. But with the secret door, that's more, utilizing a designer's brain and trying to come up with new different concepts that fit within the confines of our hinging system. So that it's working on 2 different levels. So I really do like them equally both. I like the design aspect of working. I don't build anything, but I do help the customers design. And I love that. I love taking things and putting it to paper and then handing it off to my husband and watching him create and bring my drawing to life. But then I like the gun range too, but that's always a lot of fun. We get a lot of characters in there. So both of them are equal for different reasons.
So another question here about the secret doors and what have you. Obviously, with what you're saying, I never really thought about it till as we're having this discussion here. There's gonna have to be some custom hinges. There's custom closures and latches, and so does your husband do metalworking as well too and design that stuff?
No, we've designed our own hinging system, but then we handed that off to another company, and they produce those for us.
Okay.
Another local company.
Okay. All right. Well, it's
You can just use bent arm hinges too, Daryl.
I'm sorry. What kind of hinges?
Bent arm hinges. They lift the door out and away as it opens up.
Bent arm.
Well, perhaps it would probably depend on the application. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that on some applications, maybe not.
No, some you can't, but in general, you can generally get away with a bent arm hinge.
So that's just fascinating. I'm going to have to check out this website later.
Okay.
So Jason,
As the guys are snickering on the phone.
I don't know whether.
I'm snickering at the look that you're giving him.
What other look should I give them?
So Jason, where's your pew pew range down there at your place?
In the back half.
That is really. Did you have to get special permits to do this out there in Texas, or?
So the reason why the whole gun range was built, it's kind of a funny story. We never intended on opening a gun range. My husband decided that it was important to teach our son how to shoot. Our daughter too, but she was totally not into it. She could care less. But he wanted to show our son how to shoot, to use guns and that sort of thing. So he built a small little berm. My brother-in-law, who is a Marine, said, no, we need something further out. So we ended up going 200 yards out. Next thing I know, we've got concrete going in, and then we've got something at 100 yards going in, and at 50 yards going in. And then we had people, saying, hey, can we pay you to shoot there? And it was just such a foreign concept. I contacted the local county judge, and they took about 3 days, got back to us and said, no, you don't need any permits. Have fun.
Well, that's pretty neat. And I see that Jason dropped off here. I don't know what happened to him, but
Okay.
But Jason has departed. Hopefully, he just dropped the phone.
I absolutely love your website. There's some really cool cupboards there.
Thank you.
So, take us through a process of one getting a custom-made door.
So it basically starts with either an existing door, like an existing closet door, existing bedroom door, bathroom door. And then I ask the customer what they envision going in that area. Do they want just shelves? Do they want some place where they can store wine bottles? Do they want a full bar? We have a door that's going to go into production in a couple of weeks. That's going to be a ticket booth. That's going to sit out on the outside of a home entertainment movie center. So once the customer gives me an idea of what they're looking for, and maybe even some inspiration pieces, if it's very, very custom, then I put it into a CAD drawing and submit it to them for approval. And once they approve it, they don't have any more changes, then I send it out to the shop, and he actually takes everything from that piece of paper and creates a masterpiece.
Okay, and so you just opened up the door to another question I had. What kind of software do you use to do this?
I just use what is it? It's TurboCAD, and I don't use AutoCAD. I just use the TurboCAD, and I draw an overhead and then a frontal 2D drawing.
Okay, all right, very interesting.
We have a question here. Bushcraft family, what is your strangest thing you've grown in your garden besides your bath care?
Strangest thing. Strangest thing. I don't think anything is too strange. Okay, well, not the strangest thing, but one of the most unique things that I've ever grown was the Thai double butterfly pea, the blue butterfly pea. That was a really neat plant. You only harvest for the flowers, not the peas, because the peas are actually not edible. But that's another medicinal herb that you can use to color foods, but it was just so absolutely gorgeous in the garden with, you had the green, and it's a vine with these dark purple flowers. It was just absolutely beautiful and stunning to grow in the garden.
And that's called what? It's called what?
The blue Thai butterfly, double butterfly pea. I got the seeds originally from Rare Seeds, so Thai blue butterfly pea. And that's a really cool one because, like I said, you can dye your food with it. You can put them in salads. Also, you can make you can take the drink, you can make a tea with it, and it's blue. You add lemon juice to it, and it turns hot pink. So, just a really cool plant.
Yeah, because I would have thought that, a blue drink and you add lemon juice would turn green, not pink.
Oh, no, it turns hot pink. It's really, really cool. So it makes a natural hot pink lemonade.
City Girl Country Heart's asking, is there anything you would like to grow that you haven't yet?
Oh. So I would love to grow apples. I have not been successful in growing apples down here because it's too far south. They don't do very well here. So I'd love to grow apple trees, but we just can't get them to grow here. I had 2 apple trees, and they just didn't do very well, and then eventually died. So I would love to grow apples.
Because of the heat?
Yes. Yeah. Most apples are rated for zone 8A and above because they do need some winter. We're zone 9A, so it's just really, really hot.
Yeah, you've got to get enough chill hours for apples to fruit.
Okay, and I thought that Jason maybe had just called back, but dropped off again here, so I don't know what's going on. So anyway, so what have you grown that you'll never grow again?
Oh. Probably. Well, I wouldn't say never grow again. Bitter melons. They're very prolific, and I just didn't like them after I grew them. But if my mom wanted me to grow a plant for her so that she could have them, then I would. But I wouldn't grow them again for myself. It just wasn't appetizing.
You make some medicinal type things with some of your plants?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I just harvested out of the fields. I just harvested a bunch of goldenrod, and so I've got oils and tincture going right now. I love growing everything on our property or in our yard is edible, and I love things that I have that has kind of a double purpose. Like I've got loquats out here, and you can use the leaves of the loquat tree or bush to make a tea that's supposed to be good for high blood pressure. So I love growing things that are delicious and also have a medicinal property to it.
Yeah, she put out a video. Was it last week, 2 weeks ago, about the goldenrod? I think I had to do double take. It's like, really? Because that's usually what people get rid of because of allergies.
Yeah.
And she's making tinctures out of it and teas and all this other. I go, okay, well, I need to listen to this one.
Yeah, a lot of people think because goldenrod and ragweed bloom at the same time. Ragweed is a green plant. It has a green flower. You don't see it. Mm-hmm. All you look out and you see yellow, which is the goldenrod. And so people's allergies start going, and they say, oh, that must be the issue. But it's not. It's actually the cure for the ragweed allergy. So the cure and the cause grow right next to each other.
And I think I read up on that after I watched your video. And then you had another one the other day. Haven't you done 2 of them?
Yes,
Okay.
I did the first one showing you what goldenrod was, and then I did another one where I did a oil and honey,
that's right.
and then the second video was the tincture and the vinegar and the tea. And the goldenrod tea I actually think is yummy with honey in it. It's also a it's a diuretic, so you have to be careful and don't drink it at night because it'll keep you going to the bathroom all night. But it also relieves. Oh, now I can't think.
Heck, when you get old, anything does that.
Yeah.
Hey, we have another caller here, so let me get him in the room here. This is Daryl. Who's calling?
It's me.
It's
my,
you.
My phone got kicked out and it disconnected.
Your new phone?
Yeah, we had it in the charger and somebody unplugged it from the wall accidentally.
Oh.
Was it the pig?
I was just gonna say.
I'll let you figure out which one of the klutzes did that.
Was it a 4-legged one or a 2-legged one?
And the 4-legged one's in the house. We still got 8 days.
Well, I meant the piglet.
Oh no, they're still locked up.
Is that to stop it from pooping on the floor tonight?
I don't know. It's probably gonna poop on her bed or something. I don't know.
So, Crystal, when you get moved to the Highlands, obviously you're going to want, I'm going to say, a sizable piece of property. Are you looking to actually increase the size, maybe, or?
No, we just 5 to 10 acres. Like I said, we have 36 here, but we actually only live on 2 acres. So there's people don't realize there's a lot that you can do with 1-2 acres, and so 5 to 10 acres is plenty big enough. We can downsize to a smaller tractor. We've upsized 3 times, so now he's got the big tractor with the cab on it and everything else. So, and it's like triple the cost of a regular tractor. And
now is that just for maintenance around the property, cutting the fields and?
Yeah, you have to have the tractor to cut the fields, and they have to be cut all the time.
Otherwise, it just. Well, I don't know what happens if you just let them go.
Oh, you can't. The grasses get so tall, they get taller than me. You just can't see anything, and I can't find my goldenrod and my plantain and all the other stuff that I look for in the fields.
Okay.
So he keeps everything maintained for me. He cuts it like he cut today. And so in the early spring, I'll have my blackberries, and then he'll cut again after the blackberries are done.
Okay, so that's for your non-garden plants, is what you're scrounging off the hillside there.
Exactly. Plus, when grasses get too tall, you can't tell when a coyote's out there.
Now you indicated that you can't grow apples. What about other fruit trees and stuff?
So I have peach trees, and I have loquats. I have citrus, lemons, limes, grapefruits. I've got all of those, and that's all the fruit trees that I have right now. I had a plum tree, but one of the dogs ate it down. I mean, ate the entire plum tree down. Just chewed it right on down to the ground.
Well, maybe they thought it was a sponge plant.
I guess. He obviously enjoyed it, so.
How about like bananas?
I don't have any bananas here on this property. I did when I lived in the neighborhood. When we lived in the suburbs, I had a big giant banana tree that I got from my dad's house, and it grew so tall that you can see it from the front yard, and homeowners association didn't like that so much.
But where you live now, you don't have homeowners association.
Oh no, we're the homeowners association. There's nothing out here.
I didn't think Texas would put up with the homeowners association.
Oh yeah. We've lived in two neighborhoods with horrible homeowners associations. One of the neighborhoods, we had accidentally left up a string of Christmas lights on our garage, which was detached and in the back, and so we got not 1, not 2, but 3 letters in the course of a week. So being the smarty pants that we are, in the middle of July, we got all of our neighbors together for a block party, and we all decorated our house in Christmas lights.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Christmas in July or something. Yeah, Christmas in July or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly. It was
That's
a
the
ton
one
of
good
fun.
thing down here. That's the one good thing down here. No HOAs.
So they just let you run wild down there.
Yeah, pretty much. Apart from the fact we're not allowed to do anything, but hey.
Or go anywhere.
Yeah.
Crystal, do you have any nut trees down there?
Not on this property. My mom's got a pecan tree at her house, but I don't have any here.
Well,
Now, off in the fields, we do have wild persimmons, but I don't have any nut trees here.
that's just fascinating. All these wild trees out in the fields. It's like, well, I'm gonna take a walk and see what I can come up with out here.
It's definitely a lot of fun. I didn't know when we first moved out here. We came from a golf course community. We lived on the golf course. We had a membership to the golf course, and I worked out there. They had a gym. My husband played golf 3 times a week. And then we moved out here, and talk about culture shock. So I knew nothing. When we moved out here, we had to get a storage building for our Corvette. And so once we got moved out here, we invested in 4-wheel drive trucks, and my car is actually 4-wheel drive. So it was definitely, I've learned so much over the years, just learning what's around us. Because I'd look out and I'd see a tree, and I'd be like, what kind of tree is that? Or what is that plant right there?
So how long have you lived on this property?
10 years.
Oh,
10
you've done
years.
pretty good in 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we raised both kids out here, and it's time to get on somewhat paved roads.
All right, I'm a little curious because a lot of people that have gardens that do all this, they consider themselves to be somewhat preppers, and obviously both of your businesses that you have kind of touch on that same type of subject. So, do you consider yourself to be a prepper?
Not anymore. So when part of the reason why we moved out here is because of the prepping aspect. That and the economy was kind of taking a tank, so we needed to get rid of some bills. And so we moved out here, and we had owned this property before. We owned both the property here and the property in the subdivision, and we had a building that we rented for our business. So we just kind of moved out here to downsize. Once I got out here, and we had everything that we could possibly need, and prep-wise, and then I got to thinking, what happens when this stuff runs out? What happens when I've gone through all my commercial canned goods? What happens, so my mindset changed from that prepping more into homesteading. So I learned how to garden, and I learned how to go out and forage for different foods and things like that. I learned how to can and dehydrate and cook from scratch, because I never cooked from scratch till we moved out here. So we went from a prepper mindset into a homesteading mindset, because I needed a way to make things more self-sufficient, make things more renewable. Things, I could save seeds and plant them again next year, and I'd always constantly have a food source.
So, what possessed you to start a YouTube channel?
My friends, and just sharing things on Facebook, everybody's like, oh, show us how to do that. Oh, you would have a great, you could do a YouTube channel and show us this and show us that. So I actually did it just for my family and friends, because I never thought that I'd get, 5 subscribers, much less when I made my first 100, I was like, what the heck? So I just did it for them, so I can show people how to do the things that I had learned from reading books and blogs and watching YouTube, and just to show that my friends and family that if I can do it, coming from no education, no background in this, that you could do it too. And that's what possessed it all.
So So what
here we are today.
YouTube channels did you watch before you started your own channel?
So when I first started watching YouTube, I did not keep track of who I watched. I would just do a search, and I didn't even subscribe to anybody in the very beginning because I didn't know that you did that. So I would just do a search on the subject that I only set channels that I watched on a regular basis until I created my own channel and started, when I got over 100 subscribers, I was like, oh, there's something to this. I have people subscribing. Maybe I'm supposed to subscribe to other people's channels. So I went into this with no education. Everything I've done is just kind of dumb luck, I guess.
And how long have you been doing your YouTube channel?
I think, let's see, I started in December of 2015 is when I actually started my channel. Before then, I was just watching other people's channel and doing it here and there. And then even when I started my channel, I wasn't showing my face. So some of my earlier videos, you hear my voice, but you don't see my face. And it was my teenage son that said, if you want subscribers, then you're going to have to show your face. And I'm like, what's a subscriber? So then I started making videos with my face.
Yeah, we want talking head videos.
That's a hard step to start showing your face.
But nobody really wants to see your face.
Definitely.
Well, come on, mate. I look just as pretty as you do.
I know, that's why I can say that with confidence, that nobody really wants to see your face.
Well, Crystal, Naturally NCD said that your gardening channel was one of the first that she watched regularly.
Aw, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, share with us who is your favorite homestead channel first, then who is your favorite gardening channel, and then who is your favorite prepper channel?
Okay, so I don't have a favorite prepper channel. My favorite gardening channel would be Old Alabama Gardener. He was one of the first ones that I really started watching on a regular basis. I love him, and I love the fact that he also grows the Asian variety of vegetables too. And then I started. I started watching Roots and Refuge right about the same time, and I think her and I kind of started about the same time too. I liked her channel because it was gardening, but it was also very inspirational. And I don't have a favorite prepper channel though.
Okay, well,
I have my favorite prepper people, but I don't have my favorite prepper channel.
we've had Charles on a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, very, very, very good man. And of course, we've had Roots and Refuge on. Matter of fact, first time they were live, they were on our channel.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Talk about one nervous lady.
yeah. Jess was really nervous. You were calm as a cucumber, believe me. Compared to Jess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to do lives all the time, but our country internet, and actually at the start of the year I was doing lives. I went back to doing lives, and then when the pandemic started and people started working from home and kids started going to school from home, our country satellite internet service just went downhill. So that and crazy things would happen. Like I'm getting ready to sign off on a live and my electricity goes out. So it was just
Lord.
It was just crazy. Yeah, this has been an insane year.
It has been. It has. Really has.
So, what is your favorite Thai food to make?
Oh, so my favorite Thai food, sticky rice. So sticky rice is a sweet glutinous rice that you actually soak and then steam, and it's not sweet like sugar, but it is sweet. And then I also enjoy papaya salad. So where we're from, we pick the papayas they're still green, and then we make a hot spicy salad with lemons or limes, tomatoes, garlic, and peppers. And so those two go hand in hand, and they're quite yummy. You're not going to find those at a normal restaurant.
They sound interesting.
Yeah, they do. They certainly
My
do.
food is such fun to cook.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't have any Thai restaurants around here, do we?
No, not here.
No, we would have to probably travel an hour,
Columbus.
go to Columbus
Go
or
to
something.
Columbus, yeah.
It's all about finding that perfect balance in the food.
Yeah.
So Thai food is it's salty, it's sour, and it's sweet, and that's the three flavor profiles that you want to hit because you have it hits in your mouth differently. So you hit those three flavor profiles, and you've got Thai food.
Very interesting. So, in the area that you live, what you mentioned coyotes, but what other types of predator animals, insects do you deal with?
Neighborhood dogs.
Neighborhood dogs. So we have coyotes, we have bobcats here, and also we've got these big giant black cats. They're like mountain lions, but they're black and they're very elusive.
Like a panther?
Yeah, panther?
Yeah,
They're jaguars.
I have not.
Jaguars? I didn't
Yep.
think.
Yeah, I think that's.
There are no.
Yeah, I think that's.
There are no panthers in the continental United States.
Well, this is Texas.
They are called they're a black jaguar. They're part of the jaguars.
I'll be done.
They're not panthers.
Yeah,
A lot of old country folks call them black panthers and stuff because that's what they kind of
Yeah.
look like to them. But they are jaguars,
Okay.
and they are
Yeah,
protected big time.
Oh, protected.
I had. Yeah, they're very elusive. So when we first moved out here, people told us about them, and I thought, oh, this is just some country myth. They're just trying to scare us. Until one morning, I saw a pair of them, and I couldn't believe my eyes. And we have wild hogs out here. That's another big predator. You'll lose animals to a wild hog. I've actually lost dogs to wild hog attacks.
You have like rattlesnakes, big snakes, scorpions.
We don't have scorpions here. We have cottonmouth, moccasins, and copperheads. Those are the three that I find on my property all the time. I almost stepped on one the other day down at the gun range. I stepped off the concrete, and if I hadn't been looking, I would have stepped right on top of a cottonmouth.
Wow. Because I'm sure the bite from one of those is not pleasant.
Oh yeah, and especially this far, it takes a quick ambulance. To get an ambulance out here quick is about 30 minutes.
Ooh.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Goodness.
Yeah, we live in a small town, and in our small town, we're country. We live out in the sticks. They just pumped in daylight 2 weeks ago.
Was there extra charge for that?
No, it was free with a subscription.
So do you and or your husband, are you active hunters? Do you partake in game animals? And
Neither one of us are active hunters. My dad was an active hunter. He hunted and he fished, and he did all of that. I don't like waking up that early in the morning and going out and sitting in the middle of the woods on a cold morning. It's just not appealing to me. And going fishing with my dad at 4 in the morning was never appealing either. So we do have a fish pond that is stocked, and we can fish out of that. But I can do that in the middle of the day.
well, yeah, if I'm not catching enough, I just stock it again.
Exactly. But yeah, neither one of us are hunters. Again, he grew up with his dad and his stepmom. They hunt, and his stepmom still hunts to this day. But it's not. If we needed to, we would, but we don't want to wake up that early in the morning.
Well, is he from Texas or is he a transplant too?
He's a transplant. He's from LA.
From
I
L.A.
timed out.
California.
Oh my!
Yeah. And when we first moved out here, and he heard coyotes, or actually a cow for the first time, because cows don't go moo. You know, when a mama cow is looking for a baby, she makes a much different noise. And he was like, "Is that Bigfoot? What is that? What is that noise?"
Oh,
So-
gosh.
Yeah, I thought I was city, but he was really city.
So how did this business of his, the concealed doors and all that, how did that come about?
So he is by trade. He's a master carpenter by trade. And the very first door, I saw something on HDTV, and I tried to draw it for him, and I can't draw a straight line to save my life. And if you ever watch any of my gardening videos, my rows are like this too. I can't do a straight line. So he thought it was a hilarious picture, but it got the wheels spinning in his head. So he took out it was a closet door, and he took out the closet door and he built a little half bookcase right on top. And so then one of the builders that he worked for came over and saw that and said, "I like that, but can you do one with all shelves all the way down?" And it just kind of devolved from there. And he was putting these in for a builder. And the builder said, why don't we take these to a home show and see what the public thinks? And he believes so much in the product, and he paid for the entire home show, several $1,000s for us to build the doors, build the display, and for us to be at the home show. That home show, I'm not claustrophobic, and I love talking to people, but the crowds were so thick that I had to get on a little walkie-talkie and tell him to come pull me out of the crowds, because there was just so many people. They were just like right here.
Oh, wow.
Security had to come and clear the rows, and at that was the point, because I was comfortable with him just building cabinets and trimming houses. We were living comfortably, and to take this step into this secret doors, which I thought nobody would want, right? It was a big step, and it kind of pulled me out of my comfort zone. And when I saw this crowd, and security literally had to come by and clear the aisles out, I realized at that point, okay, we might have something. And so that's when I said, okay, you can take that leap of faith. And he built the first one that he sold out of our garage.
That's pretty neat. Jason?
Yeah.
Jason?
What?
Here's your challenge. You were asking here on the video, something to do in your wood shop. Build a secret door.
I'm not allowed to build secret rooms.
I didn't know you have to build the room, just build the door.
Well, why are you going to build a door if you don't have a room?
I'm sure you can come up with a reason. I'm just throwing that out. That's fascinating.
Well,
No, I'm still here.
doesn't Hank have that up in their loft?
Yes.
Ew, he came back in underneath a different channel.
Oh, Lordy. He sure did.
He still doesn't have a wrench. I was sending him text messages, talking trash to him. He ain't answered me.
God. Children. Oh, Lordy.
I think I might have hurt Tori's feelings, though, by timing him out, so I'm not going to time him out on this channel.
Build a secret door for the man cave. Yeah, build a secret door in your wood shop.
Why would I need a secret door in my wood shop?
What?
For your secret stash.
I don't know, just because.
See, I would love to have his workshop.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to have that building.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 by 60 foot. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a new toy today.
What'd you get?
Are you allowed to
I
say it
guess
on
I
the
had one.
channel?
We'll put the video out.
I just got the thing today.
Well, hurry up.
Yeah, what's the
I got that.
What's the hold up?
I don't know. I'm just lazy.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Tell me another story.
So, have you been to any YouTube meetups or anything like that?
No,
What
I
is
have
a
not.
REAT?
We've got everything happens in the summertime, and my son has football practice
Rest.
all summer long. As you saw from his size, he plays football, and and now we're working on college stuff. So after he graduates, we're hoping that we can actually do some meetups and things like that once he's out of the house.
Well, I'm curious. Has he applied to or been accepted to a college or?
He's got a couple of colleges looking at him, but nothing that he is interested in. One is in California, one is in Iowa. He's not interested in that. He wants to stay in Texas or Louisiana. So we're still hopeful for a D1 or D2.
Okay. So Louisiana, that'd be LSU.
LSU, and then the one in Lafayette as well.
Okay.
The Raging Cajuns.
Robin has family in Lafayette, and some of her family went to that school.
Mm-hmm. And that's only a 3-hour drive from us, so it's reasonable. It's not too far from home.
Okay. So it's been pretty interesting evening here tonight.
It was.
Absolutely fascinating. I
Almost behaved.
want to stay in touch and learn more about some of this stuff your husband does, and we're looking forward to seeing more videos come out. That especially if you're going to be moving, or that's just video gold.
Right.
So, what's your where do you see yourself in 5 years with the kids gone?
So,
Behind the secret door.
yeah, behind that's funny. That's what when I left the corporate world, that's what my boss said. Don't get stuck behind a secret door. So without the kids being home, definitely a smaller garden, a smaller piece of property. Doing some traveling. I want to go back to Thailand and travel around there. So just kind of living just our kid-free life. It's going to be weird. It's weird just having the one at home now. So it'll be an adjustment.
Yeah,
but
it
definitely
changes.
a smaller garden. I won't have to do as much cooking, I hope.
Yeah, it certainly changes. And then of course, maybe in 5 years you'll have some grandkids.
Oh, goodness, I hope not.
That's all right. You can always give them back.
Yeah, grandkids are good.
Yeah. Yeah, Darren, because you can give them back, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
So is there?
I
We're waiting on the day.
I just wish I could have had them first.
Yeah, in 5 years, my oldest will be 25, and the youngest will be 23. So that's too soon for grandkids. But yeah, so just living our best life and adjusting to not having kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest is 20, and I have a grandchild.
Oh.
No, you could say how old my youngest is.
45.
Younger than that.
Okay.
No, Sean will be 33 next week. This Sunday. 33.
Oh, you said youngest. I thought you said best looking.
I said youngest.
I thought you were talking about me again.
No, I was talking about
Unlike
my
Sydney.
youngest.
So, Crystal, any
Yeah.
any last thoughts here? Any words of wisdom for everybody?
Anybody that's not gardening and maybe they're thinking about don't start too big. You don't need to start with an 80 by 90, and do things that help you out in the long run. Learn permaculture, which is basically what I do, so that you're not killing your body behind the tiller.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Mhm.
true. Because you'll
And have fun.
yeah, you'll tire of that real fast and won't want to do it.
Jason,
Why
Jason,
dig when you don't need to? It's too much like hard work.
Exactly.
Jason, any last words from you, Jason?
Well, I have a question since you just got all the questions tonight and wouldn't let any of us ask any questions. When I was in Thailand with the Marine Corps, we would go to we called them rice shacks, but they were kind of like these little tiny roadside restaurants. And on the table, they would have this bowl of this like yellow mustard stuff, but it was like super spicy. Do you know how to make that mustard, or do you know what's in that mustard? And are you willing to share the recipe?
I will. I'll ask my mom and see if my mom knows, because I'm not familiar with any spicy mustard. But I'll ask her, and if she doesn't know, then I have a cousin in Thailand that has one of those small roadside carts, and we'll ask her. So we'll get it answered for you.
Cool.
There you go.
Awesome. That stuff was so good. It'd burn your face off, but it was so good.
Darren, how about from Australia? Any last thoughts or questions?
No, I mean, I've subscribed to Crystal and I will be watching through her videos.
Oh, she's got a
Thank you.
lot of great content.
Yes, she sure does.
Okay. Well, I hope everybody had a real good time tonight. We don't want to take up too much of her time. And just remember, have you ever stopped to think and forgot to start again?
Oh, jeez.
Take care, everybody.
I don't know where he gets these from.
Take care, everybody. Have a nice evening.
Stick to the homing one.
Snapple cap.
Oh,
Good night.
Good night, folks.
Rule.